Deep beneath the canopy lies a network as old as the Earth itself. You are entering a domain of frequency, history, and hidden truth. From the heart of the Oklahoma wilderness, this is Wood Wide Web Productions. Today we move beyond theory into the data. We are examining the architecture of the unseen, laying out the evidence for all to witness. Look closely, for the truth is often written in the spaces between the lines.
Coming to you today from the site of my original sighting. Behind me is the exact location where I witnessed this creature in the open. On this particular lake bed, during the peak of the 2006 drought, I watched it run for over 100 yards, heading toward those houses you see up on the cliff before it finally disappeared from view. Today, nearly 20 years to the month since this event, I think it is only appropriate to celebrate 2 decades of studying these beings from the woods, beings I have come to call forest keepers. Seeing this animal run in this open space and then disappear made me question my own sanity for quite a while. For a long time, the question in my mind was whether I truly saw it or if I had made it up. But no, I didn't make it up. It was an actual sighting. It was that disappearance that sparked this 20-year-long intense study. It led me into my own field expeditions, listening to thousands of podcasts from others, and diving deep into the frequencies of the earth, of these creatures, of myself, and of our vocal abilities. That is why I am starting a master scientific log. I am asking anyone who is viewing this video for help. You can submit your own sound recordings through my website, which will be added directly to a spreadsheet for logging. I will then analyze those recordings in detail. I will make sure to include any pertinent information from the audio I analyze, incorporating it into a video to share with others while giving credit where credit is due. To support this mission, I have established a high-capacity forensic archive, a 1 terabyte digital vault designed to store and categorize field audio evidence. This isn't just a collection of stories. It is a master scientific log. Every submission will be timestamped, credited to the investigator who captured it, and analyzed for its acoustic properties. I am not here to talk about myself. I am here to document the truth. My focus is on developing an irrefutable history of recordings that prove the existence of beings with massive lung capacity and vocal power. We are specifically looking for the low-frequency signatures observed by researchers worldwide, but long ignored by mainstream science. I am dedicating my energy to creating a body of evidence that will be impossible to refute. If you have captured the frequency, or if you are ready to help me map the Wood Wide Web, the 2026 porthole is now open. Instructions for submitting files. While this can be boring and tedious, it is a must for this project. Segment 1 timestamp. This is the temporal fingerprint of the submission. It automatically records the exact time the data was entered into the system, creating an immutable timeline. In forensics, this is vital for reconstructing events and validating that information wasn't added or tampered with after the fact. Your observation reference name number. This is a unique identifier used to track a specific event across multiple files. Whether it's a sound recording or a physical find, assigning a name or number, like case OK001, ensures that all related evidence, images, video, and audio, remains linked together in the master database. Submitting investigator, researcher name, organization. This establishes the first link in the chain of custody. By identifying the specific person or group responsible for the find, we ensure accountability. It demonstrates that the evidence was handled only by approved personnel, a requirement for maintaining the research's integrity. Detailed description of evidence and context. This is where the narrative begins. Researchers must describe not just what was found, but the environmental conditions surrounding it. For example, if an audio track was recorded, the description would include weather conditions or nearby machinery that might affect the recording's frequency. Segment 2. Verification and scientific integrity. Date and time of evidence collection/observation. While the timestamp shows when the form was filled out, this column records the actual moment the discovery happened in the field. Comparing these two times is a standard forensic technique used to verify the promptness and accuracy of the report. Geographical location, address, GPS coordinates, etc. This provides the where for the when. In hominid or wildlife research, precise GPS coordinates allow other investigators to return to the exact spot to verify findings or look for secondary evidence, such as tracks or biological samples. Type of evidence submitted. This categorizes media in the database as audio, video, or image. Different types of digital evidence require different forensic tools for analysis. For instance, a WAV file might undergo spectral frequency analysis, while an image might be checked for EXIF metadata. Primary purpose of evidence submission. This column clarifies the data's intent. Is it to prove a new sighting? Is it a known reference sample used to compare against unknown sounds? Defining the purpose helps researchers focus their analysis on the most relevant parts of the data. Upload associated digital files. This is the raw data vault. By uploading the original unedited files, such as the high-quality WAV tracks you use, you ensure the primary source is preserved in its original, unaltered condition, which is critical for preventing claims of tampering or digital manipulation. Chain of custody integrity, scale of 1 to 10. This is a self-assessment of the evidence's security. A 10 means the evidence was captured and uploaded immediately with no gaps in supervision. A lower score might indicate the file sat on an SD card for a week before being processed, which is a transparent way to let other researchers know the strength of that specific link in the chain. When you see the chain of custody integrity marked at the highest level for a 20-year-old recording, here is why. The audio file I used in episode 1 is a direct extraction from a 2-hour field recording captured 2 decades ago. It was the very first file that led me to search for tools like Audacity to begin this forensic journey. No filters have been applied. No frequencies have been boosted or cut. It has been preserved in its raw state, just clipped from the original master to bring those basement frequencies directly to you today. So, as you may know, the age of an audio file does not automatically affect its scaling. The forensic comparison. Now that the technical instructions for the submission form are finished, I want to pivot to a direct comparison. We are looking at 2 different biological signatures from 2 different regions, recorded 14 years apart. On the left is my 2008 Alabama extraction, a recording I've held in my possession for nearly 2 decades. On the right is the famous 1994 Ohio recording. When we look at these through a spectral lens, the data tells a story that the ears alone might miss. The frequency logic. Notice the white-hot saturation in the basement of these files. In the Ohio signature, we see a massive primary peak at 44 Hz. This is a powerful, audible yell. Now, look at the Alabama signature. It sits exactly 1 octave lower, with a fundamental floor at 22 Hz. In forensics, this shift is significant. It suggests a difference in individual physiology, perhaps a larger subject or a different vocal intent, but the structural energy in that infrasonic basement is identical. These aren't just noises, they are high-amplitude physical events. The need for the database. This is exactly why the Wood Wide Web submission form exists. When we document the chain of custody and the specific frequency data, like this 22 Hz floor or the 44 Hz peak, we move away from stories and toward a scientific database. This is why we are calling for a terabyte of forensic information. We need to compile every recording, every audio fossil we've collected over the last 30 years into one central point of analysis. The conclusion. By comparing these two signatures, we prove that these biological patterns are consistent across time and geography. We are no longer just listening to the woods, we are measuring them. If you have recordings with these signatures, especially those sitting in the basement of the frequencies, use the form. Document your integrity score. Help us build the baseline. Because the data doesn't lie, and the frequencies are already there, waiting to be seen.